All right, so we dealt with the C. We've dealt with the B. We know C goes up or down. We know B goes left or right. And now we're dealing with A, just A. So A is not bad. This is actually pretty simple, pretty cool. I like it. I think I like it. So I hope you guys like it too. So with it, A causes the function to expand or shrink. So it causes to either expand or shrink there. Now, with this, and this is one, again, you're going to have to just remember it. If A is greater than 1, so bigger than 1, so that means it could be like 3/2, or it could be 5/4, anything of that sort. Anything bigger than 1, the function shrinks. If it's between 0 and 1, remember between, we like between, the function expands. It gets bigger. So if it shrinks, it's greater than 1. If it's between 0 and 1, it expands. But with that, does it say anything about negative numbers? Because between 0 and 1 is not a negative number. If A is greater than 1, that's not a negative number. So it does not talk about negative numbers at all. The negative is what we're going to talk about later on. Next. Actually, that negative right there is what we're going to talk about next. So don't worry about that part right now. So we're only talking about whether it shrinks if it's greater than 1 or expands if it's between 0 and 1. And so that doesn't necessarily mean a fraction. It means it has to be between 0 and 1. It doesn't mean just a decimal. It just means it has to be between 0 and 1. So let's go to example 6 here. And we're almost done. And again, follow the same instructions. We're going to tell the parent graph or the parent function. And list the transformation. All right, so for this one, again, we're going to deal with 2. All right, so if we look at it, so we have 5x squared, sorry, and then 1/2 x cubed. So, sorry about that. Ooh. So that's a quadratic function here. Guess that square right there told you it was quadratic. And is 5 greater than 1 or between 0 and 1? It is between 0 and 1, so therefore it is going to shrink. And then 1/2, well, first off here, the cubic function here, that 3 tells you it's a cubic function. And then that 1/2, is it shrink or expand? Is that between 0 and 1, or is that greater than 1? So it means it's between 0 and 1, and it means it's going to expand. Oh my gosh, that was so hard. Oh Lord, that was so hard. Oh my gosh. All right, so now the last thing is go ahead and deal with our negative. So if we have a negative in front. So I'm going to throw this back up here one last time. All right, and so with this, negative is not always there. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. If it is there, we're going to do this next part. So here, a negative in front means the function means the whole function. The whole function rotates or flips around the x-axis or about the x-axis. Let's do about. I like the word about. If it's positive, it just stays the same. Same as normal. Doesn't flip at all. So positive does not flip. It just stays normal. So negative flips, positive stays normal. All right, and here, let's go ahead and throw an example for this one. Excuse me. And let's do on this next page. Enough room there. So example 7. And again, the exact same instructions. The instructions have not changed throughout this whole time, so we're not going to change it here. So again, we're going to tell the parent function and list the transformations. And list the transformations. Yeah, transformations. So here, S, transformations. So, transformations. So here, we're going to put the last two things we did with the A and the negative. We're going to put them both together. Okay, so here we have a negative going on, and we have a 5 going on, and we have the actual x squared. So first off, it says to the parent graph. So we know that 2 right there tells us what function it is. Quadratic. It's a quadratic function. Okay, so the 5 tells us that it shrinks or expands. Is it greater than 1 or between 0 and 1? So it shrinks. And the negative tells us it's going to flip. That's it. That's it. All right, so then we go ahead and go to the last part here. We have cubic here. That's a cube. So it's cubic. And here, is there a negative in front at all? Nah. All right, but we do have this 3 halves. And 3 halves, is that greater than 1 or is that between 0 and 1? And if you have to think about that, you know that's actually like 1.5 if you put in the calculator, or 1 and 1/2 if you make it to a mixed number. So that is greater than 1, so that means that it's going to shrink. That means it's going to shrink right there. Arrows are working for me. Let's see. Hopefully it works for you guys too. Add some arrows in here to make sure everybody can see what's going on. All right, and that's it for this. The last thing we're going to do, the last video, is go ahead and graph everything together and put all the stuff together and graph it, and that's it. That's going to be simple and easy, not hard. So, yeah. See you in the next video.